If Bear Was Music.
Hey ho, I'm Rich Mulligan, this is If Bear Was Music, and we are 1 year old with this episode. Let's go! So you like the Ramones and you like Bob Marley. What can you get better than Bobby Ramone? And that's who that was. That was French act Bobby Ramone. It's absolutely brilliant. They've released an album called Rocket to Kingston. And it is a whole selection of Bob Marley songs done as if by the Ramones. It is brilliant. I really like it. And there's going to be a little bit more from Bobby Ramone later on as well. Anywho, as you may have heard me say at the very beginning there, this is actually the first anniversary, yes, the 12th episode, 1 year old of If Beer Was Music, where we've been pushing as much really, really good, new, original songs, new bands that we're finding that I've never heard before, you've never heard before. We've been getting them out there, and it's been going absolutely fantastic. The response is brilliant. We're being in 26 countries now, 26 countries. You couldn't even imagine that. A little podcast that's set in Coventry, UK, and that's what we've done. Anyway, so, who have we got on this show that is going to tempt your musical taste buds this time? Okay, right. Now I'm going to give this a proper top of the pops rundown. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, on the show tonight, we've got Yikes a Lion. We've got Broken Links. Okay, we've got two in a row from Audio Jane and Playground Circus. We've got Lawnmowers, Skirt Chaser and Taken Days. We've got the split single from Kids on Fire and Winning Shot. We've also got Sour, Low Tones, The Father Figures. We've got The Dead Anyways and Piss Kitty. Carrying on with Social Hall, Bit of Bones, and then you're going to hear a little bit more from Bobby Ramone. So, let's not mess around. Let's go straight into the music. Go!
Sitting in a wasteland, watching the waves come crashing down on me. Sick of the misery, everyone's pointing the finger at me. Oh, I wish I could move out, wish I could move out for a while. Somewhere where I can have a beer, not worry about a thing. But everyone's still watching me. Whoa, quit your crying, just watching me. Whoa, well everyone knows this is the world now. Nobody's gonna do a thing. This is the world now. This is the end for you and me. And me. Sitting in a wasteland, watching the waves come crashing down on me. Sick of the misery, everyone's pointing the finger at me. Well, I wish I could move out, wish I could move out for a while. Somewhere where I can be myself and not worry about a thing. But everyone's still watching me. Whoa, quit your crying, just watching me. Whoa, well everyone knows this is the world now. Nobody's gonna do a thing. This is the world now. This is the end for you and me. This is the world now. Nobody's gonna do a thing. This is the world now. This is the end for you and me. Whoa, whoa, that's the world now. That's the end for you and me. Whoa, that's the world now. That's the end for you and me. Whoa, this is the world now. This is the end for you and me. Whoa, this is the world now. This is the end for you and me. Whoa,
The best music you've never heard.
just disappear. But in your world of choice decay, a pioneer will lead the way.
So you heard there Yipes a Lion, who hail from Portland, and that is a town in the States where I've spent quite a bit of time myself. I've got a few funny stories, a few little anecdotes, one of which involves Gwen Stefani, and one of which involves a band called the Procrastinators. They were a really good band that I was watching and hanging around with while I was there, and everybody kept telling them they should make a single or something like that. Last I heard when I got back to the UK, they had not made a single, they had not made a record, and they were called the Procrastinators. I just love that story. I mean, if ever there was a self-fulfilling prophecy, that was they. Anyway, that was Yipes a Lion from Portland, and I really enjoyed it. It comes from their eponymously named album, and it was released in February. It is really, really great stuff. The song you heard after that was a London-based band, Broken Links, and they have been playing since 2008. I like that one. It's called Pioneer, and it's from their forthcoming album, Conflict State, and that'll be released on April the 30th, so after this show is actually out. Just to fill you in, because we are we are going into our second year now with Beer Was Music, a podcast that was set up to push new music, new original music, to get stuff out there, because effectively I run the If Beer Was Music Club Night in Coventry, and during the original furlough and during the original big shutdown, something else needed to be done, and this is where this has come from. It's going remarkably well, and I must say a big thank you to all the bands that have contributed towards this. I've approached bands for their music, they've approached me to play their music, I've had little chats with them on Messenger and whatever. Absolutely fantastic. The support was great. The support from the people in Coventry that I know that supported this to get it off the ground originally. A big thank you to absolutely everybody. And we are moving forward, so as we go into our second year, we have other plans. We're working on a YouTube channel, which means that when the gigs get up and running again, and we all want that to happen, we are looking at trying to get live interviews with some of the bands that we have on the show, so getting the music out and live interviews on the YouTube channel. And we are working on a website at the moment so that we can get links to every single band that we've ever played on here, so that we can get their stuff where they're being sold, whether that be Bandcamp or wherever, so that we can get the links so you can hear more from them. We've got ideas. As we go into the second year, we are going to be moving forward. Anyway, before I go on to the next track, I will tell you that, as you know, I usually like to go into a bit of the odds and sods news that has been going around. Well, I must admit, March was pretty piss poor, yes, piss poor, I'm swearing, that's how bad it was. It was awful. There was not that much crazy news. There was a couple of little stories, and I will come to them. So what I've done in the meantime, a little bit of a fill-in, I've gone to some of those crazy tweets that you get on Fesshole and other things like that, and thought, let's have a little look. So I'm going to read out a couple of tweets that people have put out there, because A, they're great. Right, okay. So here's a couple of them. One: when my partner has squirted blue toilet duck or similar products down the toilet bowl, I without fail make it my mission to remove it by pissing it all away as soon as possible. Well, yeah, you would. I mean, we all do that. I mean, if there's anything in the toilet, you're going to do that. I mean, even little insects, spiders and things like that, I must admit, like if I seen one, would I try and rescue it from the side of the toilet bowl, or would I probably try and pee it down there? You know, I know what I'm going to do. So I can't blame this guy. Blue toilet duck, no problem with that whatsoever. What else? Okay, when I'm repairing my son's ripped storybooks with Pritt stick, I pretend I'm a master craftsman restoring something really valuable. It's the little things. Well, this guy's an Egypt, isn't he? I mean, you could just imagine him there, couldn't you? Like, he'd be one of them sitting there if he found the Dead Sea Scrolls, for example, you know, and he's sitting there like, oh, I'll tell you what, look at these. Yeah, man, I could take him to the market. I could sit there with my Pritt stick, get me Pritt stick, you know, like try and put the Dead Sea Scrolls back together. I could see him do it. I could see him do it. Okay, anyway, let's carry on with what we're here for. Here's Audio Jane.
While you were gone, it got out of hand. I guess I'm happier now, but I'm not happier now. It was a terrible plan. I guess I'm out of moves, but I got you. Stop to catch my breath. I've been running in circles again. Stop to catch my breath. When will you be back again? Life is like a dream, and I'm drifting downstream. The life before the sight. No, you couldn't be wrong, could you? Yeah, I know it's nothing but lights. We could pretend to be in love, to be in love. Life is like a dream, and I'm drifting downstream. Sure, I'm happier now. When will you be home again? Yeah, I know it's nothing but lights. But we could pretend to be in love, to be in love. Yeah, I know it's nothing but lights. But we could pretend to be in love, 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 to be in love. To be in love, to be in love.
So that's Audio Jane. They're from Terrafil in Connecticut, and as you can hear, plenty going on in that. A little bit of grunge, a little bit of shoegaze, plenty going on. Really good stuff. Really like that. The track is actually from their album A Terrible Plan, and that was released only last week, well, the week before this show went out, on March the 26th. So is now available for your consumption. Now, one news story that I did find was someone or other, some clever clugs, has discovered a type of sea slug that will sever off its own head, out of which will grow a new body. So that's a good idea, isn't it? So I haven't really read the article because it's full of no doubt science stuff which I'm not going to really understand. They don't really know why it does this, but it does do it. Now, I think this would be great. Looking at going forward genetic engineering and stuff like that, I think the idea that if we could sever our own heads and grow new bodies out of it would be great. And do you know who it would be especially great for? I will tell you who. Fat people. Like, and I include myself. Well, I tell you, I've got the lockdown belly. I really am. So big fat twats like myself, there'd be no piddling about trying to get yourself into a gym, trying to get onto diet, trying to do some exercise in the house. which all fails, and then on top of being overweight, you actually feel like a complete bloody failure anyway. And you get all the problems that overweight can bring. I mean, I find, strangely enough, putting socks on. So, yeah, since I've gained a few pounds, since I've got a bit of a spare tyre already, I mean, for some reason putting my socks on is actually harder than it ever was before. Why is that? Well, I cannot work out the physics, but for some reason, the hardest thing, the thing that I really know is the most, is that I can tell when I'm putting too much weight on because I can't get my socks on properly, and so that's when I try and do that. I try and do a bit of exercise or something. I wouldn't have to. I wouldn't have to do all that. I can chop my head off, and I can just grow a new body and start again. This is brilliant. This is the sort of genetic engineering we want. So I think, come on, scientists, get your act together. Let's get this one going. Next up, we'll come across a cracking album, and I think you are all going to like this. The album is called Fraternity, and this is by the Bristol-based DIY band Lawnmowers. I can't recommend it enough. It's there for the taking on Bandcamp. It's one of them name your own price jobbies, and I would suggest a good contribution. It's excellent actually, and it was hard to choose which one to play. So I've actually gone for this one with a little bit of choice, and it's called Empty. So here we go, the Lawnmowers, Empty. So another tweet. While lying on my side in bed, I'll often tuck the corner of the duvet in between my boobs so the upper one has more support, like a special little boob pillow. Only works when you're facing the outer edge of the duvet, so only my left boob gets this preferential treatment. Yeah, I think boobs. I think there's always going to be one gets preferential treatment, really, isn't it? I mean, I'm just trying to imagine when me and the other half, when we're crashing out at night, and sort of like without even realising, I roll over, and the hand kind of elevates towards that type of. And hang on, let me just get it. So I'm lying on this side. I'm just lying there. Roll over, hand round. Yeah, left one. Left one, yeah. So, I mean, it's probably not that it's always the left one gets preferential treatment when it comes to boobies. No, I don't think so. I think it just depends what side of the bed you like to sleep on. And we're creatures of habit, so we tend to sleep on the same side of the bed. And so there's always going to be one gets preferential treatment. You know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Moving on, we've got another London-based band, and this time we've got the absolutely fantastic Playground Circus. Yes. So back in November, they released a single called Weird, and it is actually a cover. It's a cover version of a Youngblood track. I heard this. I haven't actually heard the other track by Youngblood. I mean to check that out, and I haven't. So I've heard this, and I imagine it must be doing it justice anyway. Great song. Really want to play it for you. Here you go, Playground Circus.
For the generations that know their music.
Sometimes I love it when I come across something a little bit different, a little bit more unusual, and I think you're going to find this with the next song. It's by an act called Skirt Chaser from Florida. It comes from the 7 Further Tragedies album. Let me tell you a little bit about the songs by Skirt Chaser by reading out what he says himself or themselves. The songs are based around a character who is a terrible person who only makes the worst decisions. However, sometimes they have pseudo moments of clarity where they realise there is a problem that needs to be solved with some urgency, but they end up blaming the wrong people or things and never actually learn anything or better themselves, so the cycle repeats. Recurring theme that is running through the Skirt Chasers stuff. I've listened to quite a bit of it, really been enjoying it. A little bit different. See what you think.
She was manipulated. She was scared to death. You could see the fear. So Laura Lee feels that Lisa was manipulated. She kept saying like a puppet.
Right. I'll just tell you a few things about this. I've got to get more information. But there is a conglomerate of very, very powerful and manipulative beings to change and manipulate and control things. Total fear and disbelief. Ronnie was detecting a portal there that was, she described it really funny, like it's a candy store for these really horrible, nasty beings that are trying to cause mayhem here. Like it's like there's a puppet master that is controlling a whole lot of people to do a whole lot of really dark stuff.
Shake me night terror, have me howling at the moon as we watch the creeping shadows as they dance across the room. Sow me like a seed and watching all the flowers bloom. We can take the fruit to harvest when the time is opportune. Rattle night terror, hear the humming in my head. I can read between the lines, you only think you're well read. You've been saying much more than what you thought you have said. You don't know the line you're walking, you don't know the path you tread. I know all your indiscretions, all the needles you thread. You don't know me from a whisper, you don't know a single shred. You can relive all the memories while lying in bed. It won't change a jot or tittle, you know how the story ends. Roll me night terror like a boxcar on the track. Roll me like a covered hopper, like an intermodal stack. Roll me like the Thunderbird that I keep in my travel pack. Roll me through the night just like the trains click clack, passing people in the streets like flowing water through my hands, with priorities and problems I don't care to understand. I was born for bigger things, yeah, I've been drafting big plans. Take the city as my hostage, tell the cops I've got demands. Hold me night terror, hold me like a whole note, counting all 4 beats. Play me like the artist wrote, let it rumble in your belly, let it pour out from your throat. I don't want it paraphrased, I expect exact quotes. You can catch me at the station, you can hear me in the streets, filling up the full measure, counting all 4 beats. When you hear the whistle blowing, you can watch it fill seats. You will know us by this mark, it's when the chorus repeats. Billow night terror, billow like the rolling smoke. You can read it on the faces of the other poor folk. You can bleed it in the lines of every word they spoke. You can feel the ground tremble when they shake off their yoke. Shake me night terror, have me howling at the moon as we watch the creeping shadows as they dance across the room. Sow me like a seed and watching all the flowers bloom. We can take the fruit to harvest when the time is opportune.
If there music. Still tweeting. I sent my name to Mars on Perseverance, but couldn't stand the thought of eternity with my husband up there. Yeah. So I added the names of the 2 sexiest men I know to keep me company. Do you know, that's not a bad idea, really, is it? I mean, you wouldn't want to tell your husband or wife if you did something like that. But when you think about it, give you a certain amount of satisfaction, wouldn't it, going to the grave going, well, you would think that, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, some people, they like that type of thing. They kind of they like to have a little bit of fantasy stuff going on, and, you know, who would you go with? Who's your fantasy woman? You know what I mean? So which celebrity, if you could, and they'll get off on that. And, you know, fair play to them. It did not work for me and the other half. No. We tried that, and she was like, "Go on, if you could spend a bit of time with, you know, if you could just spend one night with a celebrity, who would it be?" And I'm like, no, don't worry about me. I'm fine and dandy. Come on, we know what to say to that one, don't we? And then I'm, no, come on, which one? You know, think of all them glamorous women out there. Some of them films we've watched recently. Go on, who would you spend a bit of time with? Go on, you used to like Jennifer Aniston. Go on, would you spend a night? No, honey, I would not. And but she pushed the issue. You know, she mentioned this film, that thing. What was her name? Carol Vorderman off that counting show that they used to have. But she kept trying to push me at that one. You know, come on, you used to like her. Blah 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 blah. And I'm going, no. I'll go. So I give in the end. And she goes, go on. She goes, go on. God, you could spend one night. Go on. Who would it be with? So I said, Debbie from work. Well. I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't go down well. Let's play another song.
Step 1, I gotta lose. Step 2, get rid of you. Step 3, skip straight to 4. You've got 5 more minutes till you're out the door. So many hours and you're just too late. Time to quit, time to rearrange. Nothing hurts quite like it did, but nothing really matters when you've got no dreams. Step back and walk away. Let the fight another day. Learn to progress and survive, 'cause nothing really matters when you're not alive. He wished upon a star, nothing worked, nothing got him. But he wished upon a star, nothing worked, nothing got him. That's just giving up. That's just giving up. That's just giving up. That's just giving up. All talk, but you've got nothing to say. A bad choice that wasn't yours to make. Criticize with pure impunity. At the end of the line, step back and walk away. Live to fight another day. Through the struggle, I've realized that nothing really matters when you waste your time. He wished upon a star, nothing worked, nothing got him. But he wished upon a star, nothing worked, nothing got him. That's just giving up. That's just giving up. That's just giving up. That's just giving up.
So there you have it. That was Californian band Taken Days. And that's from their Every Second album, which was released in March. A lot of the stuff we're playing today was released in March. Taken Days say that they take their influences from 90s pop punk, emo and punk. And indeed, you can hear all that in there. It's great stuff. It's a great sound. Personally, when it comes to my punk, I like it to be from all the different categories. I don't really seem to be hearing the differences in this punk and that punk. To me, it's just absolutely astoundingly great music. A great song is a great song. Doesn't always need to be categorised, but you know, you have to describe it somewhere along the lines. And that was Taken Days. Okay, what else have we got on Fessel? I once claimed £68 back under the Premier Inn good night's sleep guarantee. Oh, I remember that. Because I didn't get a good night's sleep. Largely because I stayed up watching porn and wanking all night long. Yeah, that ain't bad if you got like £68 back for doing that. Sort of like being paid to have one off the wrist. I mean, funny enough, that's exactly what the whole webcam industry is based on, isn't it? Really, because you've got people doing webcamming now, and apparently it's caught on really well during lockdown. Well, you can understand that, can't you? And they're basically being paid good money to have a wank, and you know, my golly, I'll tell you what, if you could have made money out of doing that. When I was a teenage lad, I would be a millionaire these days. I really, really, really would. Right, okay, what we got coming up? We've got two songs coming up. I'm going to play them back to back, and they are indeed back to back. They're from a split single, and they're from two great bands. One side of the single, it's a 4-track single, is from Seattle's own Kids on Fire. And their song is called Raise Your Glass. And the other side of this, is a double A side, is the Korean band Winning Shot. And they've got one of their songs, 198. They're both great bands, great tracks. 4-track split EP. It was released in February. Enjoy.
All right, serious business. All right, here we go.
Well, it's been a long, long time since I picked up a guitar. Dreamed I'd be someone now, but I haven't gotten far. But it's a day of reckoning when you realize one day that maybe all your bigger dreams have slowly fell away. Well, I've been down and out and I've been hurt. I've been kicked around and dragged right through the dirt. Please won't you hold me up to stop me falling? And I won't drop to stop you falling. If I told you once, then I told you twice. We never backing down, we never playing nice. Raise your glass if you're living for days.
The best music you never heard.
So, as I said, a bit of a slow month for crazy news this was. So let's have a flick through the headlines and see what I did come up with. Okay. Cats recognise their owner's voice but don't care enough to respond. Well, we know that, and I'll tell you what, you know who's like that as well? Teenagers. Teenagers are like that. Are you a teenager listening to this show? Yes, about 50% of you are. And I can tell you what, this is true, and we stand by this, no compromise. You're the same as cats, absolutely the same. Let's have a look, what else we got? Woman moans she looks like Shrek after mistakenly using out-of-date tanning lotion. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it really needed to be out of date. I mean, does not anybody that uses that stuff realise that they end up looking like Shrek? I mean, you get loads of them wandering around, don't you? Middle of winter, they're wandering around with this strange orangeness about them. I mean, there's nothing ever looks like a proper suntan. They go around, they all look like Shrek. She's moaning she looks like Shrek because it was out of date. You don't even know where to go. What else we got? Oh, giant tit fight breaks out in Scottish car park. Oh, little birds. Okay, that's not what I was thinking. Okay, and this looks good. Dehydration could be why you are not sleeping. Yes. Now I will agree with that. I could see that because I can tell you what. On a normal night, I'll go to bed. Might do a Sudoku, might read a little bit. I might eventually drop off. When I'm pissed. When I have been out having plenty of booze, I will drop off straight away, no doubt about it. Get home, get into bed, I'm out like a light. You know what I mean? Well, I'm certainly not dehydrated after I've been out for a session, I can tell you. So there you go. That was a few of the headlines, nothing outstanding there. So let's play Sour.
I see the rain, I'm sitting in your mouth. This is going south. I'm riding this way to telling us to sure it's fun. Please don't cross the line. This is not what I signed up for. But still, I'm bored. I'm swimming in it. Oh shit, I'm swimming in it. No, it's not as thick as blood. My name is mine. This is civil war. Know that I am in the flood. Set me to flame and watch me choke me out.
So that was Sour, which I particularly like, and it's from their March released album, Do You Wanna Come Over? Great album, I really do like it, and they describe themselves as two besties coming together again, desperate for closure and hopeful for a new chapter within unprecedented times. Yes, I think we can all relate to a little bit of that. You want to try this one out, check it out, it's a great album, really good stuff. They recorded it over a number of addresses crossing states and things, as far as I could make out from the blurb. Anyway, what else have we got? I refer back to my tweets. Since lockdown started, I've been making around £500 per month with an OnlyFans account that is just photos and videos of me taking a shit. I never thought people would pay to see turds easing their way out of my bumhole, but they do. It's disgusting, really. I really like the way that they've added on that it's disgusting, really, when they've actually thought about doing it in the first place. I mean, it's another one of these funny things, a great way of making it. Again, with my sort of like pensions for eating curries and stuff like that, if I could earn £500 a month for taking a dump, I jolly well would. But I can't imagine me going on OnlyFans to do it, and I can't imagine anybody paying. So nevertheless, let us move quickly forward. And who have we got next? They're hailing from Norwich in the UK. And our next band up, and they are called the Low Tones, yes. Now, this is from their debut album. It's an eponymously named album, and they're a very exciting new wave band, haven't been going for a great length of time, but I've managed to put some really great stuff together. This particular track that I'm going to play you is called Funeral. Check the album out.
If fair music.
It was no longer in stock.
So that last song you just heard there was the Leeds-based post-punk band Father Figures, and they were formed in 2018. Will be worth a check out as soon as the gig starts up again. That track was called Brush, and it comes from their rather excellent album called Anytime Now and High Time 2, not long ago released. Well worth a listen as well. Right, we're going back to our headlines. Now, I've got this one. Penises are shrinking because of pollution. Oh, that's terribly worrying, because I live in the middle of the city centre, so I actually have to explain something. No, but let's see what it says anyway. Dr. Shanna Swan writes that humanity is facing a crisis in fertility rates as a result of a chemical used when manufacturing plastics that impacts the hormone-producing endocrine system. Yeah, does it now? So it's to do with plastic. Okay, well that's pretty worrying, isn't it? I'm worried. I am worried. What does it go on to say? As a result of this pollution, a growing number of babies, it's about babies, not just penises are shrinking, are being born with small penises, Dr. Swan writes. Oh, yeah, of course babies are born with small penises. I mean, they're part of me, aren't they? They're not going to be born with, like, I don't know. Maybe she means smaller than usual. Smaller than usual penis. Yeah, she does mean that. Her book, titled there's always a book, examines how our modern world is threatening sperm counts, altering male and female reproductive development, and imperiling no less, the future of the human race. So she's basically saying, not just that like penises are getting smaller in babies, but we're actually imperiling the future of the human race. So what she's basically turned around and said is size matters. Now, I've always been told that it doesn't. In fact, to be honest, I've been told that way too often, and I get a bit kind of like paranoid about that sort of thing. But anyway, that's what she's saying. So what else does she go on to say? Her research began by examining the syndrome observed in rats that found that fetuses were exposed to the chemical. They were likely to be born with shrunken genitals. Well, they live a lot more amongst pollution, don't they? They hide around in rubbish. Anyway, there you go. So we've now, on top of everything else, on top of going on, we've got a shocking pandemic going on at the moment. We've got the world politics in shocking order, and now our biggest trouble is our penises might be shrinking as well. Do it just never ends, does it? So on that depressing note, let's move on to our next two bands. And the first you're going to hear is four friends from South East London who formed a band and called it The Dead Anyways. That is a great name for a band. I really like that, actually. And this is from their 1221 album. And the track you're going to hear is going to be called Comfort Is Overrated. I don't agree with the sentiment, but the song is great. Following that, a song called Turn You Over. And this comes from the For the Lovers album by the equally great name band, Piss Kitty. These are coming from Liverpool. So they're two great songs in a row. See what you think.
If I have all this good fortune, if everything's rolling my way, if all these balls have bounced in my favor, there's some poor bastard out there who's getting the screws put to him.
So many skills we used to have, and so much knowledge we could share. Now left in the hands of a faceless state or politician or a corporation's work. A corporation's work. Someone you'd never trust is in control of everything you see and what's your soul. Everything's for sale. But truth don't look like this, and life shouldn't be as easy as this. We thrive on challenge, and the need makes this state or politician or a corporation's word. A corporation's word. Someone you'd never trust is in control of everything you see and what you're sold. Everything's for sale. We can't do without. We can't do without all the things we're told we need so easily. We can't do without. We can't do without all the things we're told we need so easily. We can't do without. We can't do without all the things we're told we need so easily. We can't do without. We can't do without all the things we're told we need so easily.
For the generations that know their music.
So the next tweet. Aged 14, I would let off stink bomb capsules in the family bathroom to disguise going for a quick you-know-what, and I would disguise that as having a poo. They were putrid. My mum, so worried about the smell, took me to my GP and I ended up getting a colonoscopy. Oh, dearie. Well, that was no justification, but I could see why. Yeah, I could see why. Anyway, next up, we've got the UK band Social Hall. And what I believe, and I may be wrong, is their first single, and it's called Wet Eyes. Now, according to their blurb, it was inspired by an overheard conversation in a pub by a group of lads discussing soccer scores, political leanings, the meaning of life, and their general woes. That sounds like any group of blokes at a pub, really, doesn't it? Certainly sounds like me and my lot. So, anyway, let's enjoy this excellent single of observation coming from those particularly nosy lads, Social Hall. Next up, we have another Californian band, and this time it's Bitterbones. So, with the track I'm going to play is one called Never There, which is a very doody little song. Now, at the end of the day, the unusual thing about it is, and I haven't seen this for a long time, it has come out as a cassette single. You can buy it as a cassette single if you order it as such. Now, the interesting thing is, they seem to like cassettes, because I noticed that since this single was released, it was released in February, they have also had another album come out. This is not on that album. The album is called Camp Wonderful. It came out just last month, so I haven't had a chance to purchase and have a listen to it yet, but I will do and see how that one goes, which is also available on cassette. So people have still got cassette recorders. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Well, anyway, no more messing around. Here we go. Bitterbones, Never There. So, Bit of Bones and Never There, bringing us nearly to the end of the show, nearly but not quite. So, I did mention earlier on, we have got projects coming up. We're going to be looking at a YouTube channel so we can get live interviews with some of the bands, hopefully see some of their live stuff once gigs are up and running again. We're going to be looking at a website which we're hoping to get up running soon so that people can find out where they can listen to more of the stuff by the bands that we're actually playing. And once again, it is our 1 year anniversary. Thanks everybody for the support that you've gave this podcast so far, and I do genuinely mean a warm thanks to everybody that's had anything to do with this, especially people like Keith, who mixes this up for me, his daughter that's helped out a lot with the website, my own other half, friends that have contributed stuff, lots of people that got it going in the first place, and special thanks to all the bands that have got involved and have encouraged me to play their stuff and to send me their stuff to play. It's been absolutely fantastic, and we're going from strength to strength. Do not worry. So, okay, that's the kind of like the Oscar speech crap out of the way. So let's get back to normal. I'm going to finish off with another song by Bobby Ramone, who you heard earlier on, and let's hear his take on Redemption's song. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next month.
If there music.
The best music you've never heard.